Okay, so Excel chapter 3 is dealing with charts depicting data visually. So one of the things that I'm sure you've seen, and one of the main reasons why we use Excel is because it allows you to create really nice charts and graphs, okay? And let's see here. Okay, so selecting the data source. So remember that a chart is a visual representation of numerical data. The data point is the particular cell that contains the value. So we'll look at that in just a minute. The data series then is a group of related data points. So when we talk about a data series, it's a group of related points, and it's either usually a column or a row. Just depends upon how the data is formatted. Okay. And so, for example, we see here that if we look under the estimated for 2020 for the computer-related jobs, we see that this number here, 664,800, we see that that's a data point, and that represents the number of systems analysts that would be needed. We see then that these three numbers here, or this entire column, would be a data set or a data series. And then we see here the data point displayed as a column in your chart. So you see here that the number of system analysts, so 664,800, and again, it corresponds over here, okay? And then we see the data series then is displayed in three columns. So the numbers for these three different jobs, we see then that there is a data series then for each set of those three jobs, okay? So the plot area is the area where the actual chart is located, right here where I'm moving my mouse. The y-axis is the one that's up and down, and then the x-axis is the one that is left to right, all right? And then the legend is down here. The legend tells you what the data represents. And so we see here that the blue is for 2010, and we see here that the orange is for 2020, and that's what would be estimated to take place. All right. And then you'll notice that, of course, that there are various different types of charts that you can create with Excel. And so I know sometimes it can be kind of overwhelming. You're like, okay, well, what type of chart should I use in what scenario? So you have a column chart that displays values in vertical columns and categories along the horizontal axis. So horizontal would be from left to right. A bar chart displays values in horizontal bars and the categories in the vertical or up and down axis, the y-axis. A line chart displays category data on horizontal axis, data on the vertical axis. An example of a line chart, if any of you, I don't know if any of you do any kind of investing, but in fact, I was looking at one today. I was checking my IRA and the value of my IRA, and you notice that time is on the horizontal axis, so maybe for each month, and then the value of the account or the growth of the account is on left and right. And then they have a line showing you, wow, you know, the last couple of months it's gone down because of, you know, what's happened. So that's an example of a line chart, but you've seen that in other things too. If any of you have taken any kind of science classes, chemistry classes, and you've had to plot things, you've seen that. Maybe plotting temperature over time. So a line chart. Pie chart shows the proportion of individual data points to the total. So it shows you what percentage of that contributes to the total. A combo chart displays two different chart types. An area chart, it's similar to a line chart, but instead of just being a line, it's actually filled in. A scatter shows relationship between two numerical values. And so there's, you know, and then a stock shows the fluctuations in stock prices. Okay, so we see here again, you can choose which different types. So, for example, this one, this is a column chart, but we see here that this is just for 2020, and then you see here that this one is stacked or multiple, be clustered, because you see here that it shows for 2010 and for 2020. And then this is a line chart. So, for example, major trends in different types of majors for school in terms of their enrollment. So you see here 2005, 2010, and then 15, and then 20 for arts, business, education, and tech and computing. And you see tech and computing that there's a lot more students taking those. And this shows the percentage of new jobs by job title. And again, you can kind of see down here that which segment, which category goes with that. This is kind of a bad example because I think it's kind of hard. Honestly, I wouldn't do this blue like this because I think it's kind of hard to tell the difference between what one category is versus another. So I would use different colors, or you can have them shaded very much differently. You could do different things with that. And then this is an example of a combination chart. So you have the bars here, and then you also have the line. And then this is an example of a scattered plot. So this is biology test scores by training time. So you see here down at the bottom on the horizontal axis, it's the time that's spent reviewing the training video. And then you see here the dots. Each one of these dots is a student that took the test. And so they plot it, and then you realize the correlation. You see that the more time that they spent reviewing the training video, the higher score that they earned. But you can see here trends in the data. And this is a stock price showing you that. All right, so you can move, size, and print a chart. And so, for example, here, you can either put the chart on a completely new sheet, and so you click this, you could put in, or you could have it as an object in a different sheet, and we'll do that in a minute. You have under the chart tools format, you have the ability to adjust the width and the height there under the size. You also, of course, can use the handles as well. And again, you do want to use the ones that are diagonal because that keeps it into proportion. So you could do either one of those in order to size the chart. And then just understanding the different elements of a chart. So you have the axis title, that describes the category or the value axis. So we'll see that. The chart title describes the entire chart. The data label shows the exact value of or name of the data point, and then the data grid is a grid that contains the source data values and labels. You may have error bars that are visual indicating statistics for the data point of the marker. You might have grid lines. Those are the horizontal and the vertical lines that help you to follow the chart. The legend identifies the attributes assigned data series, so that tells you maybe what type of data it is. So for example, we looked at what we're going to look at here with different types of tech jobs. Specify would tell you what color goes with that. A trend line is a line that's used to depict trends. And so we see here, this is how you would go ahead. You would click on the plus after you've clicked on your chart. This allows you to edit your various chart elements and the position of them. And then you can format the axis. And again, you see here, you can set the bounds. You can set the units. Right here, the display units. So you can set it in thousands or hundreds or millions. Okay, that's really, really handy. You can adjust the data labels, so you can have just the percentage shown or the value shown or the category name shown. You can adjust the chart area, and again, the fill color, or how you want the chart area to be shown, the plot area, and then also for your different data series. So then you can change the color. You can do some different things with that. So we'll take a look at that. You also can use built into Microsoft Excel. You can also use the various different styles that are built in. And so if you click on the paintbrush, you can scroll down and you can see there's some different styles that are already built into the program. And again, you're able to modify these as you need as well. All right. And then we can do chart filters, and that's through the funnel. So for example, maybe I'm not interested in all of this. Maybe I'm only interested in maybe database administrators, CIS managers, programmers, and system analysts. The other ones that I'm not interested in, I could deselect here under the categories, and then it would not be shown. And then you can modify the data source in terms of which series you want, the names, etc. So you can use this as well. And again, so this, you can flip it 2 different ways. So you can have it where 2010 and 2020 are grouped, and then it's listed this way, or it's done this way, categories by the job, as an example. Okay. And then the Sparklines, this is an example of a line Sparkline. This is an example of a column Sparkline, and this is a win-loss Sparkline. And again, this is, again, based upon the data that's here. And so we'll show that, and it just shows a trend. And so this is how you would create it. You would have to select your data first, and then that would be here, so the data range. And so in this case, it was A2 to C2, so it was that entire thing. And then you want it to be located in D2, so you could go ahead and select D2, and then you click OK, and then it would set that. Okay. And then again, you can change the colors. There's some different styles available to you under the Sparkline Tools design. You can choose this different look of it. Again, we'll look at that in more detail when we actually get to the lesson. So again, in summary, we see that charts and Sparklines visually represent data. We know that Excel provides various different chart types and several Sparkline types. We took a look at that. Charts and Sparklines and their elements can be edited and formatted. And we've seen that filters can be applied to a chart to focus on specific data elements. Open up your textbook to page 552. And then hopefully you've already downloaded the files. You already have them ready to go, because I've already done that on mine. So move the microphone down a little bit so it's out of the picture, okay? All right, so let me go ahead and add, we're now in chapter 3. And this time we're going to open up the file E03H1 jobs. Okay, and it may take a second. All right, there it is. All right. All right, and you see here that it says protected view. It says to be careful with files from the internet can contain viruses unless you need to edit it safer. Again, we know it's safe, so we'll go ahead and hit enable editing. And then we'll go ahead and save it first. So I'm going to go up here to File, and I'm going to go to Save As. And again, I know that I'm in Chapter 3, so that's what I want. So AOM 30 Excel Chapter 3. And then I'm going to go ahead and call it E03H1 Jobs, and then underscore, and then my last name and my first name. All right. Again, that should be the very first thing that you do is save your work. All right. So the next step that we need to do, let me see if I can move this laptop back a little bit. There we go. Is we're going to go ahead and select, I'm on page 553, step B. It says to select the range A5 to D12. So A5 is going to be right here. And then D12 would be right here. Okay. And so again, and you're going to have to select this blank cell, and you're also going to have to select the categories. And I know sometimes, I know students have trouble when they go ahead and create the chart, they don't have the categories or descriptions. It's because you got to make sure that you're selecting not just the numerical data, but also the categories and the descriptions that go along with that. All right, so then what we can do is, you notice there's this button right here. This is the quick analysis button. So we'll click on that. And then we can click on charts. Okay. There it goes. There it goes. And so then you see that there's different ones. So we want a clustered column. Which I believe is actually this first one. What I say, it's the third thumbnail. So we can preview what it looks like. And then we'll go ahead and select that. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and move chart. So you see over here under the chart tools design, you have move chart. We're going to click on that. And then what we need to do is we need to go ahead and move it to a new sheet. So we'll click on new sheet. And we'll go ahead and call this new sheet column chart. So we'll type in there column chart, then we'll click OK. You notice then what it does is it creates a new sheet for us by that name, and it places the chart in there. All right. So now what we'll do is go ahead and flip on over to 554. We're going to go ahead and, for right now, we'll go back to our Outlook sheet. This time, I need to select the range A5 to B12. So it would be right here. And then I need to press the Control key on my keyboard and select the range D5 to D12. By holding down the Control key, it allows you to choose columns in your worksheet that are not adjacent to each other. Okay. And so then what I need to do is go up here to the Insert tab. And then under, let's see, in an insert column or bar chart. So it's this one right here. And then I want a clustered bar in the 2D section. So the 2D section's right here. And so this one's clustered bar. So right here, bar, clustered bar. Okay. So we want that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click on change chart type. So that brings up this dialog box. And then we'll click on stacked bar. And again, that's the one that we want. So we'll go ahead and leave that and then hit OK. Excel displays the number of new jobs in 2010 in blue, stacks the number of new jobs in orange over one bar per job title. This chart tells the story of how the total projected number of jobs in 2020 is calculated, the number of existing jobs in 2010, which is the blue, and the new jobs, which is the orange. And again, we're both looking at the number of jobs. So that's neat. All right, so now that chart, it's kind of in an awkward place. It's displayed in the middle of our worksheet. You decide to position it below the job outlook data and adjust its size to make it larger so it's as wide as the data set and a little taller for better proportions. Okay, so again, you can refer to figure 3.23 on 554 to complete that. But if you flip on over to 555, you'll see. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and click on a blank area of the chart, and then we'll hold down the mouse button, and then we'll just go ahead and drag it over here to the top left of A16. So right here. And then what I need to do is click under Chart Tools, the Format tab, and under the Shape Height, which is right here, we'll go ahead and put in there that it's 3.6 and press Enter. So that makes it taller. And then we need to adjust the width. And so what we'll do is we'll just go over here to the width. We'll type in there 5.3. So now the chart is 5.3 inches wide. And if I scroll down, you can see that. Okay. So step 4, you decide to create a pie chart that depicts the percentage of new jobs by job title, calculated from the total number of new jobs created for the 7 job titles Doug researched. After creating the pie chart, you will move it to its own sheet. And so you can refer to figure 3.24 as you complete step 4. So that's at the bottom of 555. And then if you turn over to 556, you'll get the instructions. Okay. So we'll go ahead and scroll on up. And we'll click just in an empty cell just to deselect our chart because we're done with this chart for right now. We will come back to it, but we're done. So for right now, then we'll go ahead and select A6, which is right here, to A12. Hold down our Control key, and then we'll choose D6 to D12. So that's those cells. Okay, so then we'll go up here to Insert. This time we'll click on Insert Pie or Donut Chart. So we see here, this is a donut chart, a pie chart. We want a pie chart. And so and then we'll click pie under the 2D, which is the one I have. So we'll go ahead and click on that. There it is. All right. Then what I need to do is go over here under, again, Chart Tools Design, under Location, Move Chart. So we'll click on that. And then we'll go ahead and click that we need to move that to a new sheet. And this time we'll call the sheet Pie Chart. So new sheet, pie chart, we'll click OK. There it is. So then what happened then is Excel went ahead and made a new sheet for that. And then again, that's the only object on that sheet. All right, so step 5. You want to create a combo chart that shows the number of new jobs in columns and the percentage of new jobs created in a line on the secondary axis. Although the number of new jobs may appear low as represented by the smallest column, such as 34,000 new database administrators, the actual percentage of new jobs created between 2010 and 2020 may be significant, as represented by the steep incline of the orange line, such as 31% growth of database administrators. So refer to figure 3.25 as you complete step 5. So you can see there in 3.25 what you'll be creating. And so if you flip on over to 557, we'll go back to our Outlook sheet. Okay, again, we'll just click on a blank area. Okay. And so then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and choose A5 to A12, and then we'll hold down the control key. We'll choose the ranges of D5 to E12. Okay. And again, how I did that was I selected this, I held down the control key, and then I went ahead and selected that. Okay, so then I'll go up here to the Insert tab. And then what I want to do is a clustered combo chart. So if we go here, Insert Combo Chart, we want this one, which is a clustered column line on the secondary axis. So we'll go ahead and click on that. And then Excel goes ahead and creates the combo chart based on the thumbnail that you selected. The number of new jobs displays in the blue columns, and a percentage growth displays on the orange line. So then we'll go up here again under Chart Tools Design, and then under Location Move Chart. We'll go ahead and put this on a new sheet, and we'll call this one Combo Chart. All right, and then we'll go ahead and click OK. And then step E, it says to go ahead and save the workbook, and then we'll go ahead and keep the workbook open because we're going to continue on to the next hands-on exercise. So we'll go ahead and go ahead and flip on over to page 569 in your textbook. So you should have left this open. So we'll go up here again. We'll go to File. We'll go to Save As, and then we'll save it where we last were. So for me, again, it's on my desktop and in AOM 30 Excel Chapter 3. So we're going to change this instead of E03H1. We're going to go ahead and change this to H2. Hit Save. And then we want to go ahead and look at the combo chart. So we want to make sure that we're on the combo chart, and I am. And then what I want to do is click on the chart title. So I'll click on that. And so then I need to edit the chart title. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and type in there number of new computer-related jobs by 2020. Type that in. Now you can type it in directly how I did, or you can click on the formula bar and type that in there as well. Okay. All right. So then what we need to do is go ahead and flip on over to 570. We'll go over here to the Home tab. We'll make sure that our text is selected. Problem here, hold on. Click on that chart title. So if I go home, we'll go ahead and select and make it bold. And then we'll go over here to the font color. We'll make sure that it is black. Because apparently it wasn't really black before. It was some other color. So we'll go ahead and make it black. So you can adjust that just the same as you would any other text ordinarily. So then we'll go ahead and click on the pie chart. And then we'll go ahead and click on the chart title. And then we'll go ahead and change that to read new computer-related jobs by 2020. Now, if I type directly into the text placeholder, I do not have to press enter at the end of it. Okay, so I can just click outside of it to do that. Then I'll go ahead and I'll select the title again. I'll go up here and make it bold. And then I need to make the font size. So I'll click on the font size and make it 18. And then again, I need to make sure that that is black because it looks like it's gray right now. So I'll go up here, make that black. All right. And then step F is we need to go to our column chart, which is right here. And we'll go ahead and give it a title. So we'll go ahead and click on the chart title placeholder. We'll type in there number of computer related jobs 2010 and 2020. Okay, so again, if I type up here directly in the formula bar, I do have to press enter after. But if I'm typing directly into it, I do not need to do that. So we'll go ahead and also we'll go ahead and make it bold. We'll go ahead and make that, let's see, make it bold. We'll go ahead and make that size 18. Okay, then we'll go ahead and make it black. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to not make sure that that phone wasn't, the phone was ringing, make sure that wasn't in the recording when I go back and edit this. All right, so pretty neat. So now we have one more chart that we need to give a title to. And so we'll click on the Outlook tab. We'll go down here. We'll click on the chart title, and then we'll type in there projected number of jobs by 2020. And we'll go ahead and press enter. And then we'll go ahead and make it bold. And then we'll go ahead and make sure that it's size 14, which it is. And then we'll go over here to the font color. This one we want to go ahead and make it under the standard colors. We want to go ahead and make it dark blue. So we did that. All right. So now we formatted the bar chart title to have a similar font color as the worksheet title. So up here has that same blue, and we did that here. Okay. So now we're working on step 2. So again, the bottom of 570. So it says for the bar chart, you want to add and format a title that describes the job titles on the vertical axis. In addition, you want to simplify the horizontal axis values to avoid displaying the comma and the 3 zeros for each increment, and add the title thousands. Refer to figure 3.35 as you complete step 2. All right. So we'll go ahead and flip on over to page 570. So again, we're going to work on our chart. So we'll go ahead and select our chart that is on the Outlook worksheet, and then we'll click on the chart elements, which is this plus right here. And then we'll go ahead and point to axis titles. Then we'll go over here to the arrow, and we'll choose the primary vertical axis. And so we want to make sure that that is selected. So we can go up here, we can type in there job titles and press enter. And then what we'll do is we'll go up here and then for the font color, we'll apply the default dark blue font color to the selected axis title. So we'll go click over here, we'll click the dark blue. All right. And then we'll point to the horizontal axis. When you see the screen tip horizontal axis, you can double click the values in the horizontal axis. So that brings this up, and then let me move that out of the way. All right. So then what you can do is over here, under the format axis, that comes up, and then you see, I believe it's the right here. So you want to click on this button right here, which is the axis options, and then if you go down, you'll see here under the display units. Right now it says none. If I click on that and I go to thousands, you'll see that it changes that, and then it changes the word here to thousands. So then what we'll do is we'll go back over here to the Home tab. We'll go ahead and click on the title thousands, and then we'll go up here, we'll make it that same dark blue color. And then we can go ahead and save the workbook. All right. So now I'm on step 3. So the pie chart includes a legend to identify what color represents each computer-related job. However, it does not include numerical labels to help you interpret what percentage of all computer-related jobs will be hired for each position. You want to insert and format percentage data labels. Refer to figure 3.36 as you complete step 6. I'm sorry, excuse me, step 3. So that's at the bottom of 371. And so if you flip on over to 372, we'll do as follows. So we'll go over here, we'll go ahead and choose our pie chart sheet tab. And then we'll go ahead and select our chart. Then we'll click on the plus over here, which is for the chart elements. And then under the data labels, we'll go over here and click on the arrow, and we'll choose center. So right now, what that has done is you've added the data labels to the pie slices. The default data labels show the number of new jobs in the pie slices. So right now, this is showing the number of new jobs for each one of those different job categories. So right now, we'll just right click on one of the data labels, right click, and then we'll go down here to format data labels. Then that's going to open up the format data labels pane over here to the right. And then under the label options right here, we'll go ahead and select the labels, the percentage checkbox. That adds the percentage. And then we will click on the value checkbox because that clears out the values. We only want the percentages to be shown. And then we'll go up here again, make sure we're on the Home tab. We'll go up here to the font size, and we'll go ahead and change the font size to 18. And that makes the data labels larger. And then we can save the workbook. All right, step 4, format the chart area and a data point. So you want to add a texture fill to the chart area and change the fill colors of the software apps developers and database administrators slices. Refer to figure 3.37 as you complete step 4. All right. So then we'll point to the chart area, the white space in the chart and double click when you see the chart area screen tip. The screen tip is this little thing that tells you what it is. So it says chart area. So I'm going to go ahead and double click. All right. Then under the format chart area to the right, I'm going to click on the line and fill. So let me do that again right here. So line and fill, which is the paint bucket. We're going to go under fill. And then we want to have a picture or texture fill. So we'll go ahead and select that bubble. And then right here under texture, you can click on that. That shows you all of the different textures that are available. And we want one called blue tissue paper, which I happen to know is this one right here. So blue tissue paper. Okay. The chart area now has the blue tissue paper texture fill. Okay. So we've done that. So now what we've done is we've now went ahead and changed the format for our chart area. So what we'd like to do now is to go ahead and format a couple of our slices. So what we'll do is we'll click on the 26% orange accent 2 slice, which is this one right here. Click on it once, pause, click on it again. The reason we do that, we click on it, we pause, and then we click on it again is just to make sure that we have selected that particular slice. We do not want the entire, all of the slices, we want just that one. So then what we can do is go over here to the right, and again, make sure that we have fill in line, make sure that that's selected, which is the paint bucket. We'll go ahead and click on solid fill. And again, you notice right now it turned the same blue up here. We don't want that, but we'll go ahead and click on the color arrow, which is right here. And then we'll go ahead and choose dark red, which is under the standard colors. So dark red. So we selected that. And then we'll go up here, and I believe it's this one. We'll click on the series options label. And under the point explosion, we'll go ahead and set the point explosion increment to 5%. Which that just brings it, pulls it a little bit further away from the chart. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll click on the 6% database administrator slice. And then under, we'll click on the paint bucket, which is the line and fill. We'll go ahead and choose solid fill. And then again, for right now, it did that same red. We don't want that. We'll go ahead and click on orange accent 2. So we'll choose that. And so we notice there that the new color for the database administrator slice makes it easier to see the percentage data label. Also, it makes it easier to see too, it differentiated from the other two because there was 3 blue slices before. All right, so what I'll do is we'll go ahead and click on the save button, save our work. You can flip at your textbook, our work, so go ahead and flip on over to page 580. And then we'll resave our work. So we'll go to File, Save As, Chapter 3. And we'll save this as E03H3. All right. And then again, we'll go ahead and click on the Outlook Sheet tab. And then we'll go ahead and select the chart, the Outlook, the projected number of jobs by 2020 chart. We'll click on the paintbrush that gives us the different styles. And then we'll go ahead and choose style 2. So right before it was this one, style 2 is this one. So we'll go ahead and choose style 2. We see there that Excel applies the style 2 chart style to the chart, which displays value data labels in white font color within each stack of the bar chart. The chart title and the category labels display in all capital letters. The legend displays above the plot area. So that can change a lot of things very rapidly. So we'll go ahead and select that. So we changed that one. So now what we can do is we'll go ahead and flip on over to page 581. We'll go ahead and click on, we'll go ahead and apply the chart filters. So I'll read this and then I'll go back. So go ahead and we'll go to that chart, the column chart. So again, when you first created the clustered column chart, you included the number of new jobs as well as the number of 2010 jobs and the projected number of 2020 jobs. However, you decide that the number of new jobs is implied by comparing the 2010 and 2020 jobs. Therefore, you want to set a chart filter to exclude the number of new jobs. So we'll refer to figure 3.47 to complete step 2 of this particular hands-on exercise. So we went ahead, we chose the column chart, and then we'll click on our chart, and then we click right here under the funnel. That is for the chart filters. And then we can point to the various filter options. You can preview what that would do. So you see here that without clicking on it. So you see here, it's going to show you just 2010, 2020, the new jobs, so on and so forth. And then this would narrow down, under categories, would narrow down which categories you want displayed. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and uncheck the number of new jobs. Okay. And then, we can click apply. So that gets rid of that. So again, the number of new jobs, which was the gray column, then is no longer displays in the clustered column chart. And then step C is we'll go ahead and click on the programmers category. So that deselects that category. We'll click on CIS managers, that deselects that category. And then we'll click apply. Notice now that the programmers and the CIS category no longer are displayed in the clustered column chart. All right, we're almost done. So we'll now go ahead and flip on over to page 582, which is for step 3, which is to insert and customize our Sparklines. And so we'll go ahead for right now. I'll just click back on the Outlook sheet. So you want to insert Sparklines to show the trends between 2010 and 2020. After inserting the Sparklines, you want to display the high points to show that all jobs will have major increases by 2020. Refer to figure 3.48 as you complete step 3. All right. So we went ahead, we went back over here to the Outlook sheet, and then we'll go ahead and select D6. And then what we need to do is we'll go ahead and click on the insert arrow, or we do it there too. But under home, under cells insert, and we want to insert sheet columns. So that inserts a blank column. And so then what we need to do is we'll go ahead and click on the Insert tab, and then under Sparklines, we want to insert a line, so we'll click on that. Then we'll select for the data range, we'll select the data range of B6 to C12. Okay. And then we'll press the tab key on the keyboard, and then we'll go ahead and select the range of D6 to D12, that being where we want the sparkline to be. Then we'll go ahead and press OK. And so you notice then that it went ahead and put in the sparklines there for us. And then under the marker style, we'll go ahead and click markers. And then a marker style under styles is right here. And we'll choose the style dark number 6. Last one right here. And then for the sparkline color right here, we'll go ahead and choose our dark red, or red, excuse me. And then for axis, we'll click on that under the group, and we'll go ahead and say the same for all sparklines. For the vertical axis. Under the vertical axis maximum value option. So like that. Because the sparklines look identical in trends, you change the axis settings to set, and actually for both those it should have been the same. That settings to set the minimum and maximum values as relative to sparkline values for the entire selected range of rows, rather than a default setting that bases the minimum maximum for each row. And then we're finished with that, and so then what we can do is click on the save button, and then based on your instructor's directions, submit E03H3 jobs last first. And so you would go ahead and upload that to Canvas. And I'm okay if you upload each step along the way. So H1, H2, and H3, that's fine. So that's it.